Hi, Gregg, Jarrett. You're in the strategy room. Facing a more competitive Democratic primary, Hillary Clinton is looking to restart her campaign's 2016 strategy. Questions over Clinton's use of a private email server and primary voters increasingly wanting more choice in the primaries seems to be hurting the former Secretary of State. Here now with reaction, political strategist David Mercer and Amos Snead. Good to see you both. David, you probably saw a front page of the New York Times, big story there, Hillary Clinton to show more humor and heart. Apparently this is based on a focus group, an extensive one that found that, voters aren't connecting. She's too wooden. How does she change that?
Well, first I would say in any campaign you're going to have adjustments to the circumstances, internal politics, etc. I will say that 74% of Democrats see her either as their first choice or second choice. Now, whether we would characterize it maybe as some fine-tuning in connecting with voters, sure, but with 74% of Democratic voters seeing her as first or second choice, she's in a good position that I don't think many Republicans wouldn't trade on their side to be in against the 16 other opponents that they might be facing.
You know, Amos, even her aides are now admitting they fumbled the whole email thing. They weren't forthright. And yet Hillary Clinton continues to insist, quote, "What I did was allowed," and she refuses to apologize. Don't voters want in a president some humanity, the ability to say, you know what, I messed up, I apologize, I'm sorry?
You know, Greg, I think you're absolutely right. And if you look at her campaign, I mean, we're not playing video games here right now. You can't just hit the restart button. You know, she's running for the highest office in the land, and Hillary Clinton's someone who's been preparing for this run for almost 3 decades. And I think as more and more as she's out there on the trail and the American people really get to know her, they see she's not that great of a candidate. And as such, it's opened the door wide open for Joe Biden to possibly take a run.
You know,
well,
David,
yeah.
In a scant 2 months, Clinton has lost almost 20 points in New Hampshire. And look, you remember the most frequently used word associated with her in a survey was liar. I mean, that's pretty indelible. Can that be changed?
Yes, it can be, and let's not forget, and I direct it to Amos, in that she's the only one in this race, either on the Republican or Democratic side, that is leading the average of polls. There's the only woman in this race, and along compared to the others, that has gotten nearly 18 million votes before. And so we've always, Democrats always expected a competitive.
Not before the email.
But 18 million still stands as history, and it's a mark that she'll achieve again. And the email where she has been very transparent, and it's a confusing, as she has declared, issue for a lot of us and the American people, and it's being sorted out by state and the Justice Department and others, but she has been transparent. And I think given anybody getting into the race, they're going to see in a challenging environment some dip in the polls. As if Biden runs, we'll see his poll numbers go down. So I think that it's going to be a tight campaign, but at the same time, she's got a lot going for her as it stands now.
You know, when the email revelations broke, Clinton refused to address it, and then finally the heat got too much, and she chose to do so infamously at the United Nations press conference. Her explanations, kind of sounded vacuous. She wouldn't look anybody in the eye. It was flat and tentative, lacking conviction and so forth. Has it gotten any better, Amos?
I don't think so, and I don't think it's gotten better. In the New York Times story about her new relaunch is just evidence to that. I mean, if you look at what David Axelrod, who knows something about electing presidents to office, he said it read like The Onion. So I think she realizes that she's not answered this. It's not going to go away, and I think the Clinton campaign is in a lot of trouble right now.
She's in no more trouble than the 17 candidates, Amos, that you guys have running. Right. And a lot of people from Scott Walker to Jeb Bush have been on top of the polls, and now they're slipping. Walker's supposed to, revamp his campaign. Perry's getting ready to probably drop out because he's not paying one single campaign staffer. So I think that Republicans, Fox, others might want to look at the Republican side and stop focusing on Hillary, because you know, Hillary has no bearing on the
Well.
Republican primary.
We have, and I was anchoring all weekend long. Boy, we paid just as much attention to the Republican side as we did Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders and so forth. All right. Amos and David, good to see you both. Thanks.
Good to be with you.
Thank you.
Check out foxnews.com for more on the 2016 presidential race. I'm Gregg Jarrett. Thanks for watching.